Here we have an Xbox One S that came in for repair. The customer actually mailed over 2 motherboards. We already fixed one of them right here, and we're gonna be working on the second one right now. And I thought, let me make a video on this one before I leave today. I'm leaving early at around 2 p.m. It's almost 1 p.m. right now, and I'm leaving in about an hour to pick up a new vehicle I bought for the family. Let me show you. I went for the Nissan Pathfinder Creek Rock Edition, the off-roading edition. And the vehicle is absolutely beautiful for the family, 3-row seats. And it looks like I'm making an advertisement for Nissan, but I'm not. I just bought the vehicle for the family, and maybe I'll take you over with me when I pick up the vehicle. You have the roof rack, you have the tow hitch, you have the off-road tires. Beautiful. It's a nice vehicle. So let's finish working on this board, and this will be the last repair for the day for me. Big Boss will remain in the shop. He has a lot of work to do. My dad is doing all the packaging, a lot of orders to take care of, but I do not know if I'm going to come back today. If I leave at 2 o'clock, it's going to take me an hour to drive over to the dealership and then an hour to come back. So I think I'm not going to make it to the shop today until Monday. The dealership did offer to bring the vehicle all the way to my shop here. They would drive it 1 hour to bring it over to me. But I told them no, I want the family to have the experience of picking up a new vehicle, especially the kids. They've never been to a dealership before, so it would be a nice experience for them to see what goes on behind the scenes and how they deliver the vehicle. And I just want them to have a first-hand experience. All right, so we just thinned whatever pads we have left on the board. And we have to restore the rest of the pads. Of course, we have a lot of reflection on the board. Let's get rid of the reflections. Awesome. Just look at the quality on this microscope. Look at the quality of light on the anti-glare light. And all those tools can be purchased directly from our site. The microscope, the anti-glare light, the ring light, whatever tools we use here, you can directly purchase off our site. We have everything in stock. Whatever we have in stock will ship out same day. Currently, Aten hot air stations are out of stock, but we are expecting a shipment probably by Monday, after a few days. But the thermal cameras are back in stock. The NF mini pen is back in stock. The grinding pen is back in stock. The T3B soldering station is back in stock. And a lot of things that we had out of stock are now back in stock. It's really a tedious process to keep up with the stock, to get new items, to communicate with factories, and arrange shipping, customs, tax. There's a lot of expenses that goes on behind the scenes when carrying a product in our shop. You do not think about all those expenses. It starts from taxes, to customs, to shipping, credit card fees. When you order, we get charged a credit card fee. The person who's packaging the order, packing supplies, ship station program that we pay for every month, a lot of expenses. And we somehow have to calculate all those expenses as part of the product. We make a little, but we sell a lot. Now we're gonna have to restore 1, 2, 3, 4 pads. So right now the first thing we want to do is grind. We're gonna grind this trace right here, and I'm using a bigger bit, but that's okay. Let me just quickly change the tip. And I changed the tip. And for this one right here, it's better to just cut it, get rid of it, and create a new line. Just like that. And for this one, we're going to be using the 0.01 millimeter wire. A lot of viewers, they ask, can I use a wire instead of a pad strip? We do not have pad strips where I live. Of course, you can use a wire. Pad strip is a pre-cut piece of copper that you can just take out and solder. But if you do not have it, you can always use a wire. But you need a very thin wire. You can also purchase this one from our site. We have the enameled and non-enameled version. I'm currently using the enameled one, and you can see how I thinned that wire. So let's work with this one here. We need some flux. And maybe we can make the wire a little bit longer so we can mask it from the bottom and top to secure it. Some viewer ask, why don't you use solder mask to secure wires on the board or to secure a connector or whatever the case may be? I think they are missing the point on what solder mask does. Solder mask, it only protects copper from being exposed. It's not used to glue components down. It's not used to glue connectors down or to secure connectors. That's not the job of solder mask. Solder mask is weak. And now we can cut that wire just like that. And we're going to use the same wire to restore another trace. This one right here. And it looks like I did not thin that wire from here, but that's okay. We're gonna thin it live like this. And we can go over the whole wire so that when we solder the connector, it makes a good connection with the wire. And just like that. We're gonna grab the wire from here and we're gonna trim. We're gonna restore this one here. And as for this one, I do not think that this pad connects to anything. But just to confirm, we can look at the other board that we fixed. You see, that pin does not connect to anything. So we're not gonna restore this pad. We only have one more pad to restore. Let's cut the wire like this. And some viewers are freaking out. What if you cut the line, the trace under it? If you do not know what you're doing, of course you're going to cut the trace under it. You're going to cut the board and you're going to cut your bench. That's why you need to know what you're doing. And we're going to cut this wire right over here. And I'm using a new blade. That's the #1 blade. You can look it up on our site. Very sharp. As soon as you hit that wire, it cuts. Now what we have to do is clean up, make sure everything is good. We can apply solder mask. And then we have to desolder the holes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we can solder a new HDMI connector. Before we apply solder mask, we have to clean up. Because if we do not clean up, solder mask is not going to stick. And if you notice, I'm cleaning up from top to bottom and not from bottom to top. If we do it the other way, from bottom to top, then we're going to pull those wires, the ones that we just soldered. So work smart. And always think outside the box. Just look at the quality on this microscope. You can see everything in detail. Even the texture of that wire. And now what we're going to do is apply just a tiny bit of solder mask onto the blade. And that's the way I do it. I have 1 drop of solder mask right here on the blade. You never want to use the solder mask tube like this. That's not how you use it. You just apply a tiny bit to the blade. And then with the tip of your tweezer, you start applying onto the traces. So we're going to secure this wire from right here. Maybe we should focus first. And we should secure the wire from the top here. And finally, we're going to secure this one here. I mean, like I said, solder mask is not used as glue, but since the wire itself is very lightweight and very tiny, then it works for that purpose. but you do not use solder mask to secure a connector or to secure a big component. That's not what solder mask is used for. It's basically used to mask copper. And now, since I feel like exposing you to UV light so you can get a suntan, take some of this. You know what I'm talking about, right? All new viewers do not know what I'm talking about, but old viewers, they know what I'm talking about when I'm exposing you to UV light. Because one time a viewer said, why are you exposing us to UV light? We are watching your videos and you are forcing UV light on us. He's at the other side of the world and he's getting exposed to UV light because of the lamp, because I showed that light on camera. So that's what the whole story is about. Okay, so the light went off by itself. It goes on for 20 seconds or 30 seconds and then it goes back off. What I like about this lamp is, first of all, it's powerful. It's all metal built and it has a cup. So light does not spill. Light is focused on the area that we are applying UV light to. We're going to apply some more UV light along with hot air. And hot air helps solder mask cure super fast. And look at this. Beautiful. Now we can safely clean up. I just want to thin this wire here since it's not thinned. If we do not thin the wire, then the pin from the HDMI connector is not going to make a connection with that wire. So it's very important that the wire is thinned. And now it's a lot easier to thin that wire since we have it secured from the top and bottom. Nice. Maybe we can do the same here, even though those wires are thinned, but still. Nice. Now all we have to do is desolder the holes. Then we can solder a new HDMI connector. See, whoever worked on it, they already attempted and failed. Because it's easier said than done. You look at it on YouTube, it looks easy. But when you attempt to do it, that's when reality hits. It takes practice. You're not going to just watch a video and go and do it. It takes a lot of practice and the right tools. It's doable if you do not have good tools, but it's going to take you longer and it's going to be harder. But you will only know the value of having good tools if you tried bad tools. If you never had bad tools before, how would you know the benefits of having a good tool? And why is my fume extractor not on? The wick is full. Now we're going to flip the board and it's time to solder a new HDMI connector. The magic of anti-glare light. And something I've been seeing more often, when we name our product a certain name, after a couple of days or after a week, we see everybody in China has the same name. We created the anti-glare name. Now before you know it, everyone will be calling their light anti-glare. Just like a lot of the items that we have in our shop, they took our name. Just a minute. Be right there.
Emergency. All right.
What's emergency? We just had a customer that came in with a 21-inch 2015 iMac that does not power on. And the wife needs the data. She needs the data urgently. And I told her that we're not going to be able to look at it until next week. And she will have to choose expedited service for us to be able to work on it next week, because our current queue time is 4 to 8 weeks. And they started to ask questions like, can I do it myself? Can I open it myself? Can I fix it myself? I told her, sure, you can fix it yourself if you know how. Can I fix my vehicle myself? Of course, if I know how. If I do not know how, then I'm not going to be able to fix it. Why don't you take it home, try to fix it yourself, break it, mess it up, and then bring it back, and I will charge you more. I just sent them home so they can try to do it themselves. And there's a 99.9% chance they're going to break that screen. And it's going to cost them about $600 to replace that screen alone. Plus, to fix the motherboard or whatever is wrong with the iMac. It would be funny if I go to my dentist and tell him, would I be able to do it myself? It does not work that way. I mean, how would you as a shop owner, if somebody came in and asked you, can I do it myself? How would you answer? I mean, I'm not doing magic here. What I do is doable if you practice and you know how it's done. I failed so many times. I spent thousands of hours under the microscope, and now I'm at a point where I'm comfortable. So let's solder a new HDMI connector. It's unbelievable the number of people that came in today. It's one of those days where I'm leaving early and everybody's coming in. Everyone. Okay, so we do see that solder liquefied in the center. Press and hold, press and hold. Keep holding. Wife calls in, do not answer. Robber comes in. Just let him take whatever he wants. Keep holding. Make sure the connector is solid. Now you can let go. Follow that robber. And of course, you can call your wife. Or maybe you should call the wife before you follow that robber if you want to sleep in bed. Pin number 1 is solid, solid, solid. Beautiful. Look at those joints. Amazing. And I'm actually tilting the board so we can see the pins. We want this pin to move with the wire. And look at this. Solid. This one is good. This one is good. This one is good. Solid. Solid. This one here does not connect to anything. And we want this one to move with the wire. And it's moving with the wire. The pad is a little bit shifted to the side, but that's okay, as long as it's making a connection with the pin. Solid, solid, and the last one, it's moving along with the wire. But we'll go over it one more time. Let's use our NF.mini pen, and those pens are back in stock. We got them in last night. For those of you who pre-ordered, your shipment is on the way. And if you do want to order one, you can just log into NorthridgeFix.com and search for NF.mini. Maybe we can touch up on this one also. Maybe we can touch up on this one also. And why not do this one? And this one. And we can also touch up on this last one right here. Let's test one more time. Solid, 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 solid. This one is solid. And this guy is perfect. This one does not connect to anything. This one is moving with the wire. And this one is good, this one is good, this one is good. And finally, the wire is moving with the pin. If we touch the probes, we get a beep. This pin is not making a connection with this one or shorting with that one. And this one is not shorting with that one. And this one is not shorting with that one. Very good. Because we're going to have a viewer or two, they will complain. The last two pins are shorting out. Without knowing. They will just complain. The last 2 pins are shorting out. And then it's gonna spiral. Because some people are parrots. They read what the others say and they comment exactly the same thing. 200 comments. The last 2 pins are shorting to ground. Let's flip the board. And we're gonna solder the legs. Just preheat the board a little bit. It's a cold day today in California, which is very unusual. And we want that solder to flow all the way to front of the board. And we want to do the same thing right over here. Very nice. And we want to do the same thing right over here. If we check front of the board, you can see how solder made its way all the way to the front. And now we have a super solid connector. Let's make those joints nice and round and make this whole connector better than factory. All right, and we're done. And before we end the video, Big Boss put something on my bench here. Ticket info and a card. This lucky little Irish bug. And what's inside the card? Oh, we have a check, $95 for expedited service for whatever device the customer mailed over. Screen fails to work. I do not know what screen or what device. Aces. And the card reads, is bringing you a wee small hug. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you. Please get the bugs out of my system. Gloria. Thank you very much, Gloria. I really appreciate it. I like the card. Let's put it on the side for now. And we are done.
Turn right onto Auto Center Drive, then turn right.
Let's see who can find our car.
We just take it right away?
Yeah,
Yeah, we take it and we go.
yeah. We don't have to pay.
Wait, we don't even like tell them
Turn
we don't
right,
have to
then
talk
turn
to
left.
anybody?
No. You guys are lying.
Is that the one?
This one.
Is it?
It's this one.
So that's not our
Oh.
car. I think that's our car right there.
Oh, yes, that's the
I
one.
think that's our car right there.
CL6. Oh my god, the color is awesome.
It looks amazing.
I hate
Can we park here?
We can park anywhere. What are you talking about?
On chat? Right, babe?
Yeah.
What if they want us to take this to
Hey, what's up, man?
Okay.
I think that may be our car right there.
Rock Creek?
Yeah, the Rock Creek.
Oh, okay. So,
Alejandro,
Alejandro.
is he in or no?
Let me give him a call.
Okay.
Let me give him a call, okay?
All right, thank you. Look at this. It looks awesome. Wow. And that's the Rock Creek edition. Look at the nice tires and the off-road look. I love it. Is it open? No, closed. Mimi, come. What don't you like about it?
The color.
Why? This color is different. You see a lot of black vehicles, a lot of red ones, a lot of white ones, but that one is special. And look, it has the black top. We can press a button and it changes colors.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
You're joking.
if you press on the red button, then it turns to red. You press on the white button, it turns to white. Seriously.
Say wallah. Say wallah.
I mean, in Photoshop, when I go home and I edit the picture, I can do it. I can make it any color.
No. Say wallah.
No, I don't want to say it.
That's because you're joking with me.